Okay, because this is open, we're going to be able to do something really fun, really time saving. Okay. Now I'm going to subcut this into 9-inch pieces, and we will have several masks at once. So I come over here to my cutting board. I cut off the selvage. Do you have a sewing fairy in your sewing room that takes all your stuff? Mine takes mine all the time. So now I'm going to come down here 9 inches. I'll cut that off. There's one. 9 inches. Cut that off. There's 2. Maybe I'll get 5. Let's see. 9 inches. Nope. 9 inches. Okay. Now I'm just going to work with one now. We're going to come like this. Fold it back on itself again. And we're going to stitch up the sides. Because this is open, we can turn it right side out. Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to go stitch these 2 sides. I'm also using kind of a short stitch length. I'm using a 2.5. Don't use any bigger than that. Okay, so now I'm able to turn it right side out. You don't have to trim those corners. These aren't going. Those corners are actually going to be covered up by binding. So I'm going to go give this a quick press. Okay, give that a quick press. Now I'm going to do what I did yesterday, which is to make my pleats. So I'm going to fold down here about a 1/2 inch. Put a pin in. And then I'm going to fold here about a 1/2 inch. It's going to be kind of fun with these flames. Before a hot doctor or nurse. I'm going to go over this a couple of times just to make sure. Come on, baby. Machine. Sometimes you stop and you start over. Again, that's going to be covered. It's a thick place. If you ever have trouble like that, starting on a thick place, start down low and then go backwards. And then go forwards. Yeah, opening's still fine. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to, now that I'm thinking about it, you don't have to really worry about starting on that corner exactly right, because that's going to be covered up with binding here in just a second. Okay, so now if we could just stick this to some doctor's face or a nurse's face, they could be good to go. But we can't, so we have to add ties. See? Oh, it should go over the nose. So we have to add ties. So what I'm going to do here, and again, this is an experiment, but see now here in the back, I can put in a filter if they need to. If they have a mask or they have the insides of one of those filters that are good, that it'll go in there. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Now this is where I'm differing from Anna a little bit. I'm going to stitch this to the back. Then once I stitch it to the back, I can flip it over and stitch it down in the front. And then I'll stitch the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is take my tie and mark the center with a pin or a fold or whatever you got. And then I'll mark the center of my mask. Okay, I'm going to match these two centers. Oops, I'm going to pin it to the back side. And I'm going to sew with a 1/4 inch from here to here, okay, from both sides. And then I'll do both sides and then we'll come back. Well, I'll show you sewing this, but then I'll do the other side, then we'll come back. Okay, I'm going to start off the binding a little bit. I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, now I am going to go and press this up. That teal thread's showing. Oh, that's on the back. Okay. Talk to myself a lot when I sewed, y'all. I do. Okay, so now I'm going to flip this over like this. Press it down. And I'm just going to keep pressing this. I'm pressing up my 1/4 inch and down my fold a little bit at the same time. You might want to do it in 2 separate operations. I've just done this a lot, y'all. And I'm trying to make this fast. So I'm folding up the 1/4 inch, and this is a finished edge right there with the fold. Let the iron do the work. You're turning your fingers a little bit at a time. Again, if it's not exactly precise, it's not, you know, critical. My feeling is some people are saying you have to turn that in and turn that under. I'm going to zigzag that good, plus it's a selvage edge, so it should be just fine. Okay, for this one, because I'm left-handed, I don't know if my right hand will work. Yeah, it will. It will. Turn it up and over, up and over, up. You just want to go about halfway into the middle there. Up and over, up and over. Again, you can, once you get ready to sew this, if you're more comfortable, feel free to pin. My teal thread's gonna be fun on this, y'all. Okay. And because I sewed it to the back and flipped it to the front, it's gonna be nice and pretty on that front, with my front thread. So, okay, now I'm going to take a break while I do the other side, but you can see that this is going to be able to tie. There's plenty of room for the ties with that full 40-inch width. It's all secure. It's not going to go anywhere. It's sanitizable, which is very important. So I'm getting ready. I'll go back and do this bottom one, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've just finished stitching the whole thing. This is the front. Here's the back with the opening that they can put their mask in there if they have one, or some kind of a filter of some sort. And then they put it on like this, and they can tie it in the back. There's plenty of tie space for them to be able to tie. And it covers their chin all the way down. It's pretty tight. If they have a mask in here, it's going to be really good. So there you go. There it is. And that's the new and improved version. I think this will be my last video about this because I'm no professional, as you can see. Although I did put on a little makeup this time so young children wouldn't go screaming from the room. And I do want to know what you think of the hair color. I'm trying to decide if I like it or not. So y'all just let me know if I need to go back dark or if you like this more natural look. Thanks. Bye.